Can you imagine what it would be like to wake up Monday morning excited for work? It's possible. Finding your dream job means finding the right job at the right company based on what's right for your life. Ramit Sethi, New York Times bestselling author, has helped thousands of people find their dream jobs, and I want to show you how you can do it too. Get answers to some of today's hardest career questions. What's changed in the global pandemic? How do you use this time to renegotiate and even work remotely permanently? Are you in the right job at the right company for you based on your current career goals and life needs? Most people aren't. It's hard to find out how the most successful careers are actually built unless you have an inside scoop. Find Your Dream Job is Ramit's program that teaches people how to find and land the job of their dreams, as well as negotiate for more pay and great perks like remote work. Proven over 10 years with thousands of students, Find Your Dream Job is a comprehensive system that works no matter what your career goals are. Want to make more money, change industries, work from home, get a promotion, or improve your work-life balance? Find Your Dream Job will show you exactly how to do it. Sign up for more information at iwt.com/podcastdj. Can you imagine what it would be like to wake up Monday morning excited for work? It's possible. Finding your dream job means finding the right job at the right company based on what's right for your life. Ramit Sethi, New York Times bestselling author, has helped thousands of people find their dream jobs, and I want to show you how you can do it too. Get answers to some of today's hardest career questions. What's changed in the global pandemic? How do you use this time to renegotiate and even work remotely permanently? Are you in the right job at the right company for you based on your current career goals and life needs? Most people aren't. It's hard to find out how the most successful careers are actually built unless you have an inside scoop. Find Your Dream Job is Ramit's program that teaches people how to find and land the job of their dreams, as well as negotiate for more pay and great perks like remote work. Proven over 10 years with thousands of students, Find Your Dream Job is a comprehensive system that works no matter what your career goals are. Want to make more money, change industries, work from home, get a promotion, or improve your work-life balance? Find Your Dream Job will show you exactly how to do it. Sign up for more information at iwt.com/podcastdj.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. How in the world can we expect the Congress and the Senate to protect survivors such as those who were abused by Jeffrey Epstein when these same sons of bitches in Congress and the Senate have a hush fund to help protect them monetarily when they sexually harass or otherwise staffers or people that work for them or people in their orbit? Guess who's paying that bill? That's right, you and me, folks. There is a sexual harassment fund in Washington, D.C. that the senators and the Congress and all the rest of the smarmy scumbags use to pay off accusers so that their misdeeds are not brought into the public sphere. This came out in 2017, and when it first came out, I thought we'd see some movement, right? I thought that we would see people demand that a slush fund for harassment be done away with. Why in the world would there be a slush fund for harassment? If you're going to be a politician or you're going to be somebody who is in a position of power and you're sexually assaulting or sexually harassing staffers, be they male or female, whatever it may be, then you should have to pay out of your pocket if there's a judgment rendered against you. Me and the audience of this podcast that resides in the United States, we shouldn't be on the hook for that shit. And the real rub here, folks, the real part that sticks in your eye is the fact that these people who need their own personal slush fund to pay off harassment claims are the same people that are making the laws that these people like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are navigating and using loopholes to make sure that they don't go to jail. And you wonder why thousands upon thousands of dollars was donated to so many different politicians by Jeffrey Epstein. These people are all fellow travelers, folks. How can we expect Congress, the Senate, or anyone in Washington, D.C. to pass laws that protect us, protect the most vulnerable, when they themselves need a slush fund to protect them from sexual deviancy? It is an absolute con if we think that these politicians, the current crop that we have sent to Washington, D.C., or even the ones that came before them, are really there to worry about our lives. They're not. They're there to enrich themselves, and then if they get caught up in some sort of sexual dalliance, well, they don't even have to pay for it themselves. Me and you will pay for it. No big deal. Just go into the slush fund we set up. So I thought that this tied in pretty well with our ongoing conversation here about how we need to do better as far as who we elect and as far as who we send to D.C. And this also shows the hypocrisy coming from our Congress and our senators. If they really cared about this kind of thing, if they really cared about curbing sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual misdeeds by those in power, they wouldn't have their own slush fund. So let's jump into this article from the USA Today and see what their editorial board had to say on November 27th of 2017. Headline: Sexual Harassment Fund exposes Congress. Yeah, no shit. And as you folks know, again, I usually don't talk about much on here besides the Jeffrey Epstein show. Besides the Jeffrey Epstein case. But this article and this subject ties nicely into what we're talking about, sort of like the FinCEN files. And I haven't really heard too many people bring this up in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. But with what I talk about here on the podcast and the path that I am taking, it is very obvious that the laws that are being put on the books are being put there by fellow travelers. Or else, how would people like Epstein and Maxwell and their scumbag lawyers like Dershowitz know how to navigate these waters so well? And then you see these hypocrites sit up there and they look down at you from your ivory tower for your usage of words or the way you think. Meanwhile, these scumbags need a sexual harassment fund because they're such disgusting degenerates. These are our leaders, folks. Let's take a good look. And then remember, when you go and vote, your vote has long-reaching consequences. So don't get caught up in that echo chamber. Vote for the person who you think is the best person to represent you. Because if you do anything else and you're just voting for the party or you're just voting for a letter in front of a name, you're doing it wrong, folks. Because guess what? All of them, Republicans and Democrats both, were protected by this harassment fund. And it is an absolute travesty that one single tax dollar has ever went out to keep sexual assault or sexual harassment by an elected official private. It is worse than Prince Andrew flying to watch golf and spending 16 grand. 16 grand is pennies compared to what these people have spent of American taxpayer dollars to protect themselves from sexual harassment that they obviously committed. When sexual harassers agree on confidential settlements with victims, at least the payments come out of the harasser's own pockets or from companies that choose to employ them. Yeah, the confidential settlements I'm not a big fan of, but I understand it, right? I'm not going to tell somebody who has been sexually assaulted or harassed or abused what to do with their lives. They've already suffered enough. They don't need some bearded moron from Las Vegas trying to dictate their lives to them, okay? But I think that if it was someone in my life, someone that I cared about and somebody that asked me for my opinion, I would say, don't accept any settlement from this hush fund and go all the way to the rails and make sure these people pay. Because what we have seen over and over, especially in Congress, are these congressmen and these congresswomen, they think that they are above the law, folks. They think that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and there are no repercussions. How many of these scumbags come into Congress and they have a net worth of, 180, 190 grand or something? And then when they leave Congress, they're millionaires? How is that even possible? You're not there doing the people's business. You're not there to make my life better. You're there to set up slush funds so that you can have loopholes and you can have all these different laws that you know how to navigate so you and your buddies like Jeffrey Epstein can run around unabated and abuse people and set up sex trafficking rings. That's basically what it looks like. What sort of normal human being, what sort of person with any kind of moral compass would be okay with a sexual harassment fund? Are you kidding me right now? These are our lawmakers, folks. Those who would stand atop their ivory towers and tell you how pitiful you are and how disgusting you are and what a deviant you are. Meanwhile, these people are such disgusting, whoremongering, disgusting, gross people that they can't even control themselves at the highest stations of power, and they're harassing staffers and they're harassing other people and then forcing the taxpayer to pay for it. This outrageous system grows out of a 1995 law known as the Congressional Accountability Act that was intended to make lawmakers subject to the same workplace laws against harassment and discrimination as the rest of the laws against harassment and discrimination as the rest of American employers. Yeah, well, you would think, huh? Again, these aren't nobles, right? This isn't Middle Ages England. We don't have a nobility system here. This isn't no aristocracy. You bitch asses put on your pants just like everybody else in the morning, one leg at a time. Nobody's impressed by your bumbling around of Washington, D.C. and screwing everything all up. Nobody's impressed by it, and we're certainly not impressed by your harassment slush fund, you sick, disgusting bastards. The law was a well-intentioned and much-needed effort to end Congress's status as the last plantation. But some of the fine print provisions, such as mandating that settlements be secret and having taxpayers pick up the tab for lawmakers violating the law, represent the opposite of accountability. And if I'm not mistaken, when this law was put into place, 95, 96-ish, that was the Newt Gingrich Congress and Bill Clinton as president. So, again, both sides of the aisle. This benefits both sides. This isn't a Republican or a Democrat issue. This law protects both of them. And folks, there are deviant, disgusting bastards on both sides of the aisle. If that has not become apparent to you in the last few years, few months, then I don't know if it ever will. Then all you have to do is add this on top of everything else we know about these people. And it gives you that context that we were looking for, right? It's like not being able to see and then putting your glasses on, and then everything starts to come into focus. Boy, is it magic? These people, these congressmen, these senators that get up there and bloviate about how they care about you, how they're worried about the Constitution, how they care about the country, they're all liars, okay? Every one of them. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of my money being used on countless, endless wars. I'm sick of my money being used in the Middle East to make 50 million people have to migrate. I'm sick of all of that. We have our own problems in America. We have our own infrastructure problems here that could be fixed by that money. And here we are, putting together an effing hush fund for our own politicians. I don't know about you folks, but that does not sit well with me at all. For complaints, the act set up an arrangement so cumbersome that it seems designed less to protect wronged workers than to insulate lawmakers from public embarrassment. That's exactly how the law is set up. Not like it seems like, okay? That's exactly what it is. This law, these hush funds, all of it is set up to make sure that so-called polite society can navigate their loopholes and swim through the muck with clarity, while the rest of us are left with mud clinging to our eyes and huffing for breath. These are the people who make these laws. These are the people who provide cover to the bankers who fund people like Jeffrey Epstein. And we never, ever hold them accountable because of our petty, tribalistic splits. To file a complaint, employees must go through a 90-day mandatory dispute resolution process, the first step of which is counseling for the accuser. What is this? What is this, like a Jehovah? They model this off of like the Jehovah Witness or Sharia law or something? I mean, are you kidding me right now? Counseling for the accuser, huh? Because it's the accuser's fault. It's always the accuser's fault when it comes to our shitbirds in Congress or the Senate. And I have had my fill, folks. I have had my fill of being ruled by these rich oligarchs, these kleptocrats that have no idea about reality, that have never once strapped on a pair of work boots and hit the block running. They don't know about my life. They don't represent me. And they certainly don't represent how I feel about people who are engaged in sexual crimes. Because, folks, let me be very clear. If it was up to me, not only would I shatter this fund, I would make it public. Every last person who took $1 single of American taxpayer money to pay to cover up their sexual indiscretions. I light it all up and put it out there for the world to see, because these sick bastards think that they are above the law, and they think because they're in Congress, because they write the laws, and because they have money, that they can move in another lane than me or you. Well, I'm here to tell them that if they try and swerve into our lane with this nonsense, that their wheels are gonna pop. Yes, you read that correctly. The alleged harasser isn't forced to get counseling. The victim is. Outside Congress, workers with claims can file a lawsuit in federal court whenever they want. But if they work for Congress, failure to follow these procedures may jeopardize any claims raised under law. And you wonder why Tara Reade isn't being taken seriously. I bet you her whole entire story is hushed under this stupid-ass congressional nonsense. What, you think it's above Joe Biden to do what Tara Reade said? Have you listened to that guy speak, folks? Okay? Stop it. Just stop it, please. And I wonder, has Joe Biden ever paid anything under this harassment fund? I'm not saying he has, but let's make it public. Let's see what's what. How about Mitch McConnell's big-ass mouth? Has he ever used the hush fund? I'd like to see all of them, because guess what, folks? One thing that is definitely 100% sure, okay, is that Congress and the Senate are not there for you or me, and that you and I have no representation over there. It's filled with doctors, lawyers, Harvard scumbags. There's no local people there. You know, your local plumber get elected anytime recently in your district? How about the local construction manager? How about the grocery store chain manager? No, right? Well, that's how it's supposed to work, folks. Those are the people who are supposed to be going to D.C. to represent us. People from our communities. Not these out-of-touch carpetbaggers. Not these people who show up from their ivory towers with their dictates. Actual people from our communities. And we've gotten away from that. And I don't know about you, but from where I'm sitting, these lawyers and these so-called smart people who have been at the reins of control for decades, well, they've crashed the car, folks. It's time we have a new driver. Because of the public furor over sexual harassment and the decision by some female lawmakers to reveal their own experiences, the 1995 law is under a much-deserved spotlight. In recent weeks, current and former congresswomen have revealed enduring everything from unwanted advances to being groped on the House floor. One told of a staffer who quit after a lawmaker told her to bring materials to his house, answered the door in a towel, and exposed himself. These are your leaders, folks. These are the ones writing those laws that Jeffrey Epstein's navigating. I bet you feel real confident now. I bet you feel super comfortable with your elected leaders. Remember, folks, I am begging you, when you go and vote, make sure that you're not voting for these knuckleheads. No more incumbents. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. We need to send a brand new crop of congressmen and senators, congresswomen, to D.C. Vote them all out. I swear, it'll be a long time before I vote another incumbent ever in my life, because I have had enough. I have had my fill of these people. Add to that the accusations against two of Congress' most liberal members, and you have the makings of a watershed moment. Senator Al Franken, Minnesota, apologized Monday for disrespecting women. Representative John Conyers, Michigan, stepped aside Sunday as the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee after being accused of making unwanted advances toward female staffers and firing one after she resisted. Folks, that's the House Judiciary Committee, okay? The ranking member, the honcho, the guy over the whole judicial system, oversight. And he is paying out $27,000 in taxpayer dollars for sexual harassment, sexual assaults. How is this okay? How can anyone accept this? How can anyone think that this is how the House and the Senate should do business? I'm just disgusted, folks. I was disgusted with this when it first came out. I'm disgusted by it now. And it fits with our overall story here, what we've been talking about on the Jeffrey Epstein show for basically a year now. There is so much more than just what we see on the surface. There is so much more than the salaciousness of what's going on in this case. There is so much more than a Mossad agent hanging out behind every corner. All right? Don't get me wrong. There's an element of that, right? There is. There definitely is. We can't deny the fact that there was definitely, in my opinion, some Mossad involvement here. But they are not the water carriers. They are not the ones that are initiating this, giving green lights, and writing these laws. They are able to operate within the system because of the laws that are put on the books by these congressmen and women, folks. Let's get to the crux of the problem. Let's not worry about the symptoms. Let's actually get to what is causing us the disease. Conyers allegedly settled that claim with $27,000 of taxpayer money from his office account, disguising it as severance pay. He acknowledged settling, but denied the allegations. Yeah, he just paid out the $27,000 because he didn't harass nobody. He didn't do any of that, folks. He just wanted to keep it quiet, right? Oh, here's $27,000. Don't say nothing. Please, bro. Please. Even so, all the public knows is that since 1997, Congress has paid more than $17 million to settle scores of workplace claims from a special Treasury Department fund created by the 1995 law. $17 million. Let me say that again, folks. Okay, you ready? $17 million is what Congress has paid since 1997 to settle claims of workplace harassment and sexual misconduct. These are the people writing the laws. These are the people that get up there every day and talk about how this one's evil or that one's evil or this one hates the country or fill in the blanks there. Meanwhile, they're all digging their grubby mitts into this fund anytime that they decide they want to be a sexual predator. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I have had enough. And I know that this doesn't represent me or represent anything that I believe in, and I don't have any representation in Washington, D.C. Not by the current party, not by the current president, and not by any of my local officials. None of them represent who I am or what my vision of this country should be. Whether the claims involve sexual harassment or discrimination against protected groups is unknown. So is the identity of lawmakers and aides involved in alleged misbehavior. That is unacceptable. This needs to be at the forefront. Whoever is elected president should make this a big priority to get this out there. The public needs to know who these congressmen were, congresswomen were, and if they're still sitting, they should be removed from their position because they're a blight on what Congress is supposed to be. Congress was never supposed to be a career. There was never supposed to be a political class. You were supposed to go there because you wanted to help the community that you lived in, and you wanted to make sure that you and your neighbors were represented correctly in Washington, D.C. That is what it's supposed to be. Not these lawyers, not these scumbag career politicians who do nothing but sow divisiveness and make the rest of our lives harder. Such secrecy is a betrayal of the public trust and the whole notion that government works in public. Nor should Capitol Hill be a place that tolerates crude and ugly mistreatment of women or of men. What, you think these female lawmakers aren't out here doing the same shit? You see the way they conduct themselves. Look at the lady from California who had to resign for the throuple she was involved in. Not that I care if you want to be involved in a poly type of relationship. Hey, go for it, man. I know personally, I have one girlfriend, one soulmate, and that is plenty for me. If you think that you can deal with 4 or 5 girls with honey-do lists and whatnot, hey, more power to you. And if that's what you people want to do, great. But what's going on here? What these people are doing? The way that they're covering up their sexual misconduct by using American dollars is a joke. And it's not just men, women as well. We went through the article and we learned that 38% of people involved in human trafficking, in fact, are women. So the notion and this myth that it's just men should be thrown out the window. A bipartisan group of lawmakers led by Representative Jackie Speer from California and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, New York, whose dad is a lawyer and worked with Nexium, by the way, is pushing a measure to make the complaint process less cumbersome for workers, get rid of required secrecy, and mandate that any lawmaker who settles a claim as a harasser repay the U.S. Treasury out of his or her own pocket. I'm on board with that, right? Not a huge fan of Jackie Speer or Kirsten Gillibrand. I don't feel like they're really in it to bring new legislation to the table for the most part. They're just there as rah-rah people. But I will say that if they can get something like this done, then I'm all for it because enough is enough, right? This should never occur. This should have never occurred. There should never have been some sort of fun for these sick pricks. And furthermore, I want complete and total honesty now and transparency. I want to know every last person who took one single dime. Every last person. Nothing in the Speer-Gillibrand proposal should be particularly controversial, but passage is far from assured. Congress has never been particularly good at policing itself. And then there's a little chart here. From 1997 to 2001, $400,000 was rewarded in 50 settlements. Between 2002 and 2006, $6.8 million of taxpayer money was awarded in 68 settlements. From 2007 to 2011, $6.4 million, 73 settlements awarded. And from 2012 to 2016, 65 settlements to the grand total of $2.6 million. Folks, none of this is okay. None of this is right. And the only way to change it is to hold our political class accountable. I know it's difficult. I know that it is difficult to get these incumbents out of office. But the only way we can do it is if we work together to bring new candidates into their place, people that actually represent us and how we feel and how our neighbors feel. But until we do that, until we send real people to take up these very important positions, we are going to be stuck with the same nonsense we see on a regular basis when we send lawyers, when we send doctors, and when we send other members of so-called polite society to write laws with loopholes in them so their scumbag rich friends can navigate those same very laws and stay out of trouble. Must be nice on the other side of the grass, huh? Well, newsflash. We're not going to accept it any longer. We will not accept your secrecy. We will not accept the fact that you are using American taxpayer dollars to pay off harassment claims. And we will no longer accept your lame excuses for inactivity. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All of the links that go with this episode can be found in the description box. All right, everybody, I'll be back later on, and we will pick back up where we left off.
Can you imagine what it would be like to wake up Monday morning excited for work? It's possible. Finding your dream job means finding the right job at the right company based on what's right for your life. Ramit Sethi, New York Times bestselling author, has helped thousands of people find their dream jobs, and I want to show you how you can do it too. Get answers to some of today's hardest career questions. What's changed in the global pandemic? How do you use this time to renegotiate and even work remotely permanently? Are you in the right job at the right company for you, based on your current career goals and life needs? Most people aren't. It's hard to find out how the most successful careers are actually built, unless you have an inside scoop. Find Your Dream Job is Ramit's program that teaches people how to find and land the job of their dreams, as well as negotiate for more pay and great perks like remote work. Proven over 10 years with thousands of students, Find Your Dream Job is a comprehensive system that works no matter what your career goals are. Want to make more money, change industries, work from home, get a promotion, or improve your work-life balance? Find Your Dream Job will show you exactly how to do it. Sign up for more information at iwt.com/podcastdj. Can you imagine what it would be like to wake up Monday morning excited for work? It's possible. Finding your dream job means finding the right job at the right company based on what's right for your life. Ramit Sethi, New York Times bestselling author, has helped thousands of people find their dream jobs, and I want to show you how you can do it too. Get answers to some of today's hardest career questions. What's changed in the global pandemic? How do you use this time to renegotiate and even work remotely permanently? Are you in the right job at the right company for you, based on your current career goals and life needs? Most people aren't. It's hard to find out how the most successful careers are actually built, unless you have an inside scoop. Find Your Dream Job is Ramit's program that teaches people how to find and land the job of their dreams, as well as negotiate for more pay and great perks like remote work. Proven over 10 years with thousands of students, Find Your Dream Job is a comprehensive system that works no matter what your career goals are. Want to make more money, change industries, work from home, get a promotion, or improve your work-life balance? Find Your Dream Job will show you exactly how to do it. Sign up for more information at iwt.com/podcastdj.